SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.
At Community Bank, we're here for every part of your financial journey. From personal banking to growing your business or buying a home, our expert guidance makes it simple. We're more than a bank. We're your partner for life's biggest moments. Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I'm Steve Azar, and I'm on the other side of the microphone, meaning I'm asking the questions this time, and oh, have mercy for the airwaves. I spent 20 years in Music City, wrote and made some hits, traveled the world, and then moved my family back to the birthplace of American music and where the magnolia trees prosper. And now every time I put my feet on Mississippi soil, when I'm off the road, well, I'm at peace. On this show, it's all about hearing the stories straight from the mouths of the friends I've made along the way, their journey to success. Heck, there might be someone on, I don't even know, but you know how us Mississippi types are. We tend to take well to new company. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them. I'm Steve Azar. It's just like that muddy river, moving slow. Ain't no worries, it's how life goes, baby. In a Mississippi Minute.
Hey folks, time for another In a Mississippi Minute. Visit Mississippi.org. It's Mississippi on steroids. Check it out. Believe in your Mississippi, even though we're talking to an Alabama legend today. And besides that, what a great guy. Actually spending a lot of time at Pearl River Resort. So Mississippi knows how to steal folks, even from the great state of Alabama, and make them part of our culture. Been doing commercials for Pearl River Resort, as I have, and we're going to be together in a couple weeks with our friend Mick Gillespie, doing some more commercials for them, which is going to be a blast. I've had the best time with Matt Perkins. He is a marketing guru over there, dear friend of ours, the late Ryan Griffin. He's always in our thoughts. What a great man, Chief Cyrus Ben. We're looking forward to being there. All right, today's guest, born and raised in Mobile, like I said, was a multi-sport athlete at St. Paul's Episcopal and earned his way to Florida State, where he spent his quarterback days with future Heisman winner Jameis Winston. He would be part of that two-time ACC championship team and a national championship team. Fast forward, he made a bold move transferring to the University of Alabama, the school he dreamed of playing for since childhood. At Alabama, his talent and determination paid off. After fighting through a year as a backup in 2014, he won the starting job in 2015 and led the Crimson Tide to a college football playoff national championship. He was a true leader, exemplified patience. You can only imagine the patience it took on this journey where he whipped up on Clemson, him and his Tide 45-40 in that game. He signed with the Arizona Cardinals in 16. Unfortunately, injuries, as you know, become a big part of how long can you go. It forced him into early retirement, but his story didn't end there. He returned home to Mobile, started a family, and built a successful career in commercial insurance. By the way, stir in 2 more SEC titles and a national championship, and that's a recipe for kings and 6 rings. And I'd like to know the doctor that sewed that 6th finger on his hand, that golden hand. We're going to have to talk about all that in a minute. He came to our Delta Soul Celebrity Golf and Charity event for the first time this year, and that means he can never leave. We're worse than Hotel California. Everybody loved him. Welcome in a guy that learned a lot of life lessons from Nick Saban and overcoming setbacks, the wonderful Jake Coker. Hey, Jake.
Steve, what's going on? Pretty thorough introduction right there. You didn't
Thank
miss
you.
much. Hey,
Thank you.
I appreciate you blaming the retirement on injury. That always helps soften that wound. You know?
No, well, hey, that's what I looked up online. That's what I saw. So whatever, Wikipedia doesn't mess around. So
yeah, that's
anyway,
right.
I know. So I've got a lot of friends. Gino Toretta won the Heisman. A lot of friends that take it to the next level. It just doesn't. It's not their cup of tea. Let me ask you this. Let's stay right there for a second. You leave and you go pro. How much of it is it in your heart compared to college?
I think it varies. I think it varies from guy to guy. I mean, look, my last 2 years of my football career, I mean, there were a lot of injuries. I think I had 5 surgeries in the last 2 years of playing. And, when I left Florida State and came back to Alabama, I mean, I know you and I have talked about it. kind of likened it to your journey going back, from Nashville back to Mississippi, just something that calls you home. I wanted to come back to Alabama and play for my home state. I love this state, these people, everything about it, the culture. So it meant a lot to me to come back and play at Alabama. And jumping from Alabama to Arizona, I think it's different for different guys. Look, I love playing football, but when I got up there, if you sign, if you're a first round guy, second round guy, you're pretty much locked into that money for at least your first contract, and you love it. It makes sense. I was a free agent, signed out of Alabama and went to Arizona. The guarantees just weren't there for me, and I loved living in Alabama. I was dating my now wife, was, kind of ready to get back to Mobile, start a family and not bounce around from city to city, trying to make it. I just didn't have that kind of love for it, I guess. Yeah. And so, was just ready to come back and, like I said, start a family. That meant a lot to me to have kids. I always grew up around a big family, loved that atmosphere. That was really, honestly, probably my priority above all things.
I love it. Hey, listen, that says it all about you. So let's back up one notch real quick. You're at Florida State. You've been there a while, and then you've got to go to Alabama where there's probably going to be a quarterback fight. So there's no NIL, so you're not being paid. What was that move like, and what was the decision process like for you and your family?
It was when I was at Florida State, I don't think I would have left if I was, older or younger than Jameis, just out of loyalty to who I signed. That means a lot. If you sign with somebody, you stick it out until the circumstances are, get to where you absolutely will not play. And so Jameis came in. He was a year younger than me, was named the starter. And so, before the end of that year, coaches and players that I was close with, they knew that I was going to make that jump or make that move. And the stars kind of aligned at Alabama. A.J. McCarron, who I backed up in high school, was leaving, and they needed a quarterback. And so, as soon as that national championship 2013 ended with Florida State, I started taking calls from Coach Saban and the Alabama staff, and there was really no other option. I wasn't going to leave Florida State unless Alabama was a real opportunity for all the reasons that I mentioned, previously.
Yeah.
And so, it was just the perfect opportunity to get back home and just play for my home state. That was all it was about. Now, when I didn't have social media back then, just to avoid all the noise. But I will say the pressure of coming in at that age, and it's hard to admit when you're going through it, but just the pressure of playing at Alabama, that's your home state. The hype around me, I remember, was pretty high. And I didn't even have social media. I was just getting texts and phone calls, changed my number twice. It was I enjoy having a good time, coming to your golf tournament, meeting people, hanging out. But, outside of pretty controlled environments, I like doing my own thing and staying pretty private. So, that was completely new to me, that kind of spotlight. So it was definitely, it took some time to adjust. There's no doubt about it.
When I was coming out in the music business and things were starting to happen, and even before, you were always, taught to be more mysterious, and I loved that because I liked the quiet in the back of my bus. I had my own room and all that. I love flying alone. I love doing a lot of things because I needed voice rest, first of all, but also I'm more like you. And now with the way it is today, I don't think I would have loved it all, having to always be in everybody's faces in social media. And I wouldn't want them to be in my face. So I'm glad everything sort of worked out timing-wise for me. And I know for players and the pressure that must be on them to always be in the media, and I'm just glad I missed that window. Let's take a quick break. We're with Jake Coker. He's got 6 fingers on one hand. I don't even know if he moved one finger off the other and has 6 and 4, or he's got 11 fingers, which is kind of cool. It's like having 11 on an amplifier if you're Spinal Tap. But he's got 6 rings, so I don't know what we do with them all. We'll be right back. Visit Mississippi.org. So many wonderful things. Jake comes to visit Pearl River Resort a lot. His mug is all over a commercial right now called Let's Roll. And we're going to be shooting a commercial there in a couple of weeks, and we're excited about that. We're going to be right back. You're on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Funny how you feel it all at 20, while they're holding stakes and preaching to my soul. But the bite that they give ain't nothing like I live. And I know that I don't really know, but I don't mind. No, I don't mind. Oh, I don't mind most of the time.
Mississippi, all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now.
Water, and we're in too deep.
Rocking into a Mississippi Minute with one crazy successful college career in Jake Coker. 6 rings, 2 ACC championships, 2 SEC championships, 2 national championships. That's just insane. All he did was, and his boys and his teammates win. That was more than 6, I think. Visit Mississippi.org. Deserves your attention. Plan a road trip. Follow the Blues Trail marker. It's going to take you all the way to Liverpool. That's where the one of the last ones we left. The Country Music Trail markers, which I'm so grateful to be on. The Writers Trail, the Freedom Trail, and Visit Mississippi will be hanging out at the Rose Bowl this year. Having a big float celebrating B.B. King's 100th birthday, Jim Henson and the Muppets, all things Mississippi. So tune in there. All right, Jake is my guest today. Jake, let's talk. The minute you leave, was it Jimbo Fisher that coached you at Florida State?
Oh yeah. I was actually in his first recruiting class at Florida State.
Stay there and talk to me about what that recruiting process was like, and did you get to start your junior and senior year? I mean, you talked about AJ being from St. Paul as well. Where did y'all fall in line?
Yeah, he was 2 years older than me, so I was able to start my junior and senior year at St. Paul's. But with him around, there was no doubt I wasn't getting freshman and sophomore playing time in high school. So
that's insane, though, that you two were back to back. I mean,
it is wild. Yeah, it is.
That's not even fair.
Yeah, I'm sure that's happened, around California or Texas, just given the big schools, around there. But I'm not sure that's happened, in the state of Alabama.
Yeah.
Back-to-back quarterbacks in high school and then,
both win national championships.
Yeah, at the same school. I'm sure that's I can't imagine that's ever happened in Alabama.
No, that's a first. That's a first. So what was it like, that recruiting process for you, if you look back? And also, you were a big-time hooper. Was hoops ever a thought to pursue that instead of football?
Yeah, I started honestly when I was a sophomore, and really going into my junior year, I figured I might play basketball in college. It really wasn't until going into my junior year I started working out with a former, an Ole Miss alum, David Morris. He lives down here in Mobile, and he owns Quarterback Country, does quarterback trainings for, middle school, high school, college, NFL. and he got me going. He was really the first guy that kind of taught me how to get recruited and really made me believe that I could get, an upper echelon D1 school to offer me. And so David Morris is one of those guys who will, forever be a close friend and mentor of mine. Just, really guided me the right way throughout all that college recruiting experience. But so as soon as I got tied up with him, he started pushing me in the right direction, started going to camps, and didn't really have a ton of offers right off the bat. And I went to, actually, my first offer was Hugh Freeze at Arkansas State. Wow.
Yeah.
Hugh, been at Ole Miss, been at Auburn. And then I started making the camp routes and got an offer from Duke and went to a Florida State camp. And they offered me, after watching me throw it for 2 hours, I was in disbelief, couldn't believe it. Alabama, they told me they weren't taking a quarterback, so I was a little, upset by that.
All right, stay there for a second real quick. AJ's there. You've just been backing him up. I know you're getting a little older. You can catch up talent-wise and all that as the years go by. But was that, did you think about that being, here I go again?
No, look, especially back in those days, I didn't feel like you saw a lot of freshmen starting, and that didn't bother me. If I got time to get in there and learn the system and
okay.
play as soon as the starter was gone, I was good with that.
Okay. All right, so continue on with the recruiting. So Jimbo's on the field when you guys are there and you're throwing?
Yeah. So they called me up to his office. I remember walking up there with my dad, like, man, what are they about to do? There's no way they're offering me, and like I said, Alabama told me they weren't taking a guy. And so, I was like, maybe this happens. We'll see. So we walk up there and Jimbo, he goes into what he saw on the field and he offers me a scholarship and he says, look, if somebody else commits before you, we're only taking one, so we're not going to have a spot.
My goodness, putting you on the spot.
Oh yeah, he put the pressure on, and he goes, just listen to me real quick before you leave. I want you to think about it, make a decision. But he goes, I know you're from Alabama. I know you're an Alabama fan. He goes, as soon as you walk out this door, Nick Saban's going to offer you because Nick offers every quarterback that I offer. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. They told me they're not taking quarterback. And it's like the week later, man, Jeremy Pruitt's blowing up my phone. He's like, hey, man, we need you to come to Alabama. We won't offer you a scholarship.
Unbelievable. Hey, it's the whole date thing. You don't have a date to a prom. Nobody wants you. You get a date to the prom. Everybody wants you. Especially when she's like the homecoming queen. Then everybody, in this case, Florida State. So what do you, I know what you did, but how long did you have to make that decision for Florida State and what went through your mind?
Well, not long, because, to me, Alabama tells me they're not taking a quarterback. Florida State offers me after, 2 hours of watching me throw. And to me, it's like, you got to go with the people that truly believe in you. And so that was ultimately my deciding factor. It was very hard. Don't get me wrong. It was,
had to be.
It felt like an impossible decision at 17 years old. But I felt like I owed it to Jimbo. He's the one who really caused me to get an offer at Alabama to begin with. And I felt loyal to him and I wanted a commitment to mean something. So, I stood by it and went to Florida State. And I love Jimbo. I think, Jimbo, he's hard on his quarterbacks. There's no doubt about it, but you learn a lot from him. And at the end of the day, he stuck his neck out for me and offered me a scholarship, and that meant the world to me.
Let's back up. Did you came at a time shortly before you? It may have been a little longer. Remember the quarterback? Who was it? Florida State, played basketball and went and played in the NBA. Who was that?
Charlie Ward.
Charlie Ward. So did that ever become a real moment? Nothing?
No, Steve, I could play some basketball, but I didn't quite have the ups to play at Florida State. They were in the Sweet 16, Elite Eight, all that. I mean, they were operating at a different level than I was. I mean, I thought I might be able to get some good D1 offers in basketball, but
you didn't feel like you could add up.
No. My high school coach, my high school basketball coach, he told me I had real potential to go mid-major, and honestly, I did not think football-wise I would get the exposure. I thought Rivals and Scout.com, they went and scouted everybody out, found out who you were, and that's how you got offers. And again, when I linked up with David Morris, he's telling me the process of what it takes to get offers. And I didn't go to camps until going into my senior year, and all of a sudden, my recruiting world has just blown up around me in 3 months.
I got you.
Coming at you like a freight train. And so my parents had never been through that. I obviously had never been through that. Had David pushing me in the right direction. And, again, just it was very overwhelming, but an overwhelming blessing without a doubt.
With 6 rings on his fingers, Jake Coker, national championships, etc., SEC championships, ACC championships. There's 6 of them. We're going to be right back. Visit Mississippi.org, plan a road trip. We're going to be at Pearl River Resort. If you haven't played Dancing Rabbit and you love golf, if you just want to walk Dancing Rabbit, I may get in trouble for saying that, but it is one of the most beautiful walks I've ever taken. We'll be right back. I'm Steve Azar.
We're in cold water, and I shall believe. $20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
There's a ton of content from SuperTalk Mississippi on our new YouTube channel. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi on YouTube or go to supertalk.fm/YouTube. Be sure and subscribe for free to get the latest scoop on what's happening in Mississippi news, politics, sports, and the good things happening here in the state. In a Mississippi Minute with Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi.
We're all alone in the river and I don't know whether I'm singing or swimming with you.
Having a blast with my new pal after this past year. Thanks to Mick Gillespie. I thank him very much for introducing me to his partner and their YouTube channel that they're killing it. They got the #1 football show for Alabama, and I guess if you're going to have a #1 show in football and it's Alabama, then you've got the #1 show in the land. Jake Coker's my guest today. Visit Mississippi.org. Loves Jake Coker, whether you like it or not. He's part of Mississippi now. He's a Delta Solar now, forever. I can't wait to have his wife down here. My wife, Gwen, has been wanting to meet your wife, Jake. I know you got your young kids. My wife never went anywhere until our kids left us. And now, now when I'm going in, I'm doing shows, I'm ironing her dress before, getting her a glass of wine, and here I'm the one that has to play a show. And there's a lot of stuff I have to do for her before I go play. Let's talk your family for a second. High school sweetheart, college sweetheart?
College sweetheart, pretty much. I mean, we started
Florida
dating.
State or Alabama?
Alabama.
And
well,
then,
we started dating. I've known her. I've known my wife forever.
Well, all right. And kids-wise, how many kids now?
2 daughters, 5 and 2. 5 and 2.
I took nothing better.
So we had our 10-year reunion this year for the Tennessee game. Took my daughter up there, my 5-year-old. It's her first time being up in Tuscaloosa. And, we go down and, I was, captain 10 years ago. And so I was an honorary captain for the game and walk out there. Coach Saban comes out and we're talking. My daughter's just, running around on the sideline and Coach Saban's like, Jake, is that your daughter right there? I was like, yes, sir, that's her. And he's like, forget you, man. He walks over to my daughter, snags her up. They take a picture, and he puts her back down. He gets moving and she runs up. She's like, Daddy, who's that old man?
I love it. Okay, so let's stay there for a second. We'll keep your family life private. I like that too. With Saban, for you showing up there, and it's Nick Saban, and just take me through the carousel every day of what that was like. I mean, how was he?
Man, I think I caught him at the perfect time in his career. He's 74 now, so he was early 60s. He never lost that fire. I mean, he always had that fire. He was very tough. But I always say Coach Saban he's one of a kind. And from the perspective of being tough, but also very personable. He knew his guys. He knew how to communicate with guys. A lot of times I think he could tell how things were going on with you personally by the way you practiced and the way you behaved within the complex. And I spent a lot of time in his office, just going through the psychology of playing quarterback. I mean, he didn't make it a big thing to play quarterback at Alabama, but what do you need from us to perform the best? And we have those conversations, a lot.
Wow. What is something I'd never thought I'd hear. The coach asking you what you need to perform. That's coming from a totally different angle. I've never heard a coach go there.
Well, man, he was always very proactive and getting the best out of you. And when you looked around at the program that he built, I mean, you had top-notch facilities. You had everybody, whether it was nutritionists, trainers. I mean, you had the best. Those guys would come see you, check in on you on weekends, on holidays. I mean, it was everybody working together in unison with the ultimate level of discipline, and getting the job done. It was one of the craziest programs. If it was a company, it would be $1 billion enterprise. I mean, it's just ultimate efficiency. That all comes from up top, and that's from him, and that's the standards he set and the way he went around about his business, leading by example. I mean, I know you hear Lane Kiffin talk about it all the time. He's one of one. There was nobody that pushed forward, even while having a huge amount of success. The standard never changed.
You think of Coach Krzyzewski, you think of Bobby Knight, you think of John Wooden. I'm thinking in hoops, and then you think in college, the coaches that have left him, that's been under him, and how they Sark, Kiff, coach of Indiana, correct? The list goes on. The list goes on and on, right?
Cristobal, Napier,
it's insane. So it's almost like that how does he have this formula? And it can get in the other coach's DNA at some point, and then they get to go and become their own version of that. I just think that that's really amazing that something can be so potent and can carry on like a big oak tree, and you got all these limbs and every one of them's bearing fruit. It's really amazing what he taught to all of these coaches.
Yeah, he was. I tell you this, it was so funny, and you'd have to know Coach Saban to realize. I mean, this is just a joke for him. It's not like anything seriously said. But when I was at my first game at Alabama, we were going through walkthroughs, meetings. We'd always go watch a movie on Fridays if we had a later game on Saturday. My first game at Alabama, I remember I was walking into the theater after our pre-movie stuff, and as I'm walking up the steps, it's dark, and I feel somebody tap me on the leg, and I look over and it's Coach Saban, and he goes, "Hey, Jake, is this the same format, same schedule y'all had at Florida State?" And I said, "Coach, it's every time slot's the same. Everything's the same. They're probably watching the same movie down in Tallahassee right now." And he goes, yep. All those guys, they talk as much trash as they want to, but then they leave and they do the same damn thing.
Yeah. All right. So that's so funny. All right. Your first snap. You get those, whatever, Right. And I'm thinking about you having to go 14-0. You can't get to 14-0 unless you go 1-0. Right. So you can't look that far ahead and all that. What was the feeling like for you? The childhood dream of playing quarterback at Alabama, and also the pressure that you have to deliver for your state and the Alabama Crimson Tide fan base, which is huge. Did any of that come to your mind, or once you snap it the first time, everything's gone?
Some wild things go through your mind at different times. I will say my last snap at Alabama was in Arizona. Taking a knee to win the national championship. Everybody could probably see the amount of relief that I felt as soon as just taking that knee and it was over. And, we brought the national championship back to Tuscaloosa. But that first snap, you definitely feel a little bit prior to that first snap. I think we played Wisconsin. My first start ever was against Wisconsin in Jerry's World in Dallas. To me, that's the biggest stage. You're playing at the home of America's team, and that stadium is just unreal in terms of just the magnitude of the feeling looking out over it, seeing everybody in the stands and you're at the middle of the field. It's wild. But really, I'll be honest, as soon as you take that first shot or that first hit, it's kind of like, okay, time to wake up.
Yeah.
You don't get focused and you're going to get hurt out here. So,
All our athletic followers are going, Steve, of course he wasn't thinking about all that. I really wasn't thinking during the game. I was just thinking about, there's a lot of time before and after a game, and then you've got to live up to this,
I'll say this, and I may have told you this story. One of our dinners at the casino, but sometime, I remember at the national championship, I overthrew Calvin Ridley on a ball, and we ended up punting. And I remember going over to the sideline, talking to Lane for a few minutes, and then you had a little time before you went back on the field. And I remember going over and just sitting on the opposite end on a knee by myself, just preparing for the next drive. And going into that game, what I thought about a lot was, we got a better team here. All I got to do is just be efficient, get the ball to the guys, let them make plays after the catch, and we're gonna be fine. Once you get into that game and you kind of feel out the other team, you get a feel for what it's going to take to win. And so when I overthrew that ball to Calvin, talked to Lane, went over and sat down, I just remember thinking, you keep doing this and you're this conservative, not just throwing the ball and playing, you're going to be the first quarterback at Alabama to lose a national championship for Coach Saban. And that was a thought that went through my head, and I definitely felt the pressure in that moment.
With 6 rings on his fingers, Jake Coker, national championships, etc., SEC championships, ACC championship. There's 6 of them. We'll be right back. I'm Steve Azar. Don't go anywhere.
$20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
Mississippi, all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now.
The Delta Ag Expo on the corner of Highway 1 and 82. We were standing at a crossroads. We both knew what I had to do. Greyhound leaving for Memphis, Tennessee.
Rocking into a Mississippi Minute with one crazy successful college career in Jake Coker. 6 rings, 2 ACC championships, 2 SEC championships, 2 national championships. So when in my intro, because I remember when you guys y'all lost back-to-back years to Ole Miss, correct?
We did.
I'm just because I have to. I can't help it. I'm here. Where am I at? So
I'm kidding.
John Bond at Mississippi State right now is going, what about me? And I said, I got you, John. You also did it. All right, 14. So you guys weren't 14-0 your senior season?
No. So we were 14, and so that stat is kind of. We played 15 games. As a starter, I did not start against Ole Miss. So
goodness! What's going on there?
So I got. Going into the Ole Miss game, Cooper Bateman they put Cooper in the start, and then I came in the last drive of the first half.
I got you. So that wasn't enough. So you feel like why'd they start him? What happened?
It was just, it was a quarterback competition, throughout the off season. It was one of those games. They just wanted to give everybody an opportunity, I think, to prove themselves. And, it worked out that way. I hate to make comments with former teammates involved because just coach's decision on who's starting.
Yeah. I get it. And, but you were 14-0 as a starter that season.
That's right.
Okay. That's all that matters. I
wasn't going to correct you. Sounded good in the intro. So
all my Ole Miss pals are out there going, wait a minute, 2000, but we beat them. Well, he didn't beat Jake. And hey, listen, I'm all about my state schools. The good thing about me going to Delta State is I have an equal love affair for my state schools around there, so I can do that. So it's and everybody going, how can you do that? You're being politically correct and all this. I said, guys, I have great friends and family that went to both schools and Southern as well. And y'all just leave me alone.
When people ask, I always say I hate Ole Miss, but that school is hard not to like when you go to that campus. That is a beautiful campus. That to me, it's probably the most Southern historical campus in the SEC. If you were to visit every one of them, it's just that old school Southern type campus. Of course, I hadn't been there in years, but that's how it was when I was there last time.
Well, I think that our state schools are doing a really good job. They're growing now, like a lot of colleges are growing. And how do you hold on to the tradition of the town that you're in? That's difficult to me. In the city of Nashville is turning into Atlanta now, and they're losing so much of Music Row. So Music Row was 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th, and a little bit of 20th Avenue. And it ran these blocks, just really long blocks. And there was all these hits that were written in all these houses, the historic stuff. And I was able to be a part of that at the end. And then when we left, they have skyscrapers everywhere. And so they've taken away some of that. So these college towns, Alabama as well, they've done a great job of growing right where you don't lose the feeling.
The campus, the core campus in Tuscaloosa is, it's clean, it's beautiful. I remember when I went to Ole Miss. I guess it was 10 years ago, man. That was the last time I was there, and you just felt like you were rolling into a small college town, and it was, the square was beautiful. Everything about it was just old school, clean. A really pretty campus. But you say that about Nashville. Last time my wife and I went to Nashville, we were going to go. I like Nashville, but it is somewhat of a tourist trap now. There's no doubt.
My God, every bride that's getting married, all their the bridal showers, and that's fun. It's a young person's town. We lived everybody had about 4.5, 5 acres, but our next door neighbor built the Bell South Tower. Well, he was the architect. Earl Swenson for the Bell South Tower. It was the only tall building down there, and we called it the Bat Building because it had the, you know. So anyway, and now his building's dwarfed just about compared to there. Anyway, we're running out of time. I can't thank you enough. I know you've got to go in and make a killing real quick. You're the best. I'll see you in November at Pearl River Resort, and thank you as always, Jake. You've got your date with Destiny for the rest of your life here in the Delta at Delta Soul every year.
That's right. I'm bringing the wife next time. We're gonna have fun.
Bring the kids. We got babysitters that you can trust.
Hey, it's not about me trusting. It's you know how it goes.
Wynn trusted nobody. So there you go. You got to bring them. You got to bring them. They're always welcome. All right, brother. Blessings. And I'll see you soon.
Hey, thank you so much. Can't wait to see you here in a couple of weeks.
Jake Coker, incredible career in football. Visit Mississippi.org. Celebrates it all. Looking forward to spending some time shooting commercials for our pals over at Pearl River Resort and hanging out at Dancing Rabbit for a few days with Jake and the gang. We'll see you later. I'm Steve Azar.
I'm Steve Azar. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them, where you can take your sweet time.
Mississippi, all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now. A SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.